Okay, with our first lab coming up due this week, I wanted to make sure that everyone understood how to turn in their lab. I know we've gone over it a couple times in different places, but I wanted to make just a real quick short video because I've been getting a couple of questions about it. So let's say you have your lab open here. We're looking at it in front of us. This is the template. This is obviously a very short version, so of a made up one. So let's say I have done it, and this lab is just 2 questions. I imported some data, and I showed the first 4 lines. So let's assume I did it. I ran this, and I ran this, and I said, oh yeah, that looks like what I want to do. Good. So if you haven't already, first step is to save your file. And so I'm going to save it. I would recommend setting up a place that you're going to save all of them. So for me, I go to Documents, I go over to Math 356 Labs, and this is where I'm going to save all of it. So I'm going to call this Lab 1 Example. Okay, and I would like you to put your last name in this. So I'm going to say Richards. Okay, so save it. So that has saved the RMD file. That's the code that you're looking at right here. But what you're going to turn into me is the HTML file, which is the pretty version of this, right? Where it puts together everything in one document for to make it easy to grade. So at the top here, you're going to see this little button here. Looks like a ball of yarn. It says knit. That is R's cool little way of saying I'm going to knit this all together into a single document. So go ahead and click that and then wait for a second while R does its magic. And then this will bring up the single HTML file that you're going to turn in. As you can see, this is a nice little file because it goes, this is the reason why we use these, is it has text, has the question, has the code, then goes back to questions, then the code, then the output of the code, so that I am able to grade both your code and the output of it. So once you open this up, read through it, make sure this looks like what you want me to see, because this is what I am going to grade. If this looks like, yes, this represents what I want graded, then what you're going to do is go ahead and you can close this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to My Open Math, right? I'm going to go to Labs. This is where we found under Lab 1. This is where you found all of your instructions and work, but you've done all that now. So now you're going to turn it in. So you're going to click on actual Lab 1 to turn it in. This will say, hey, again, here's all the stuff you need, but you're going to go ahead and start. Don't get worried. This isn't like a test. You can come back here anytime. Click on it, and it's going to say there's only one question for each lab. Upload your lab HTML file along with any additional work. This one does not have any additional work, but there might be some questions in the future where you said, hey, I wanted to handwrite something and draw something, and so you might upload additional files that you reference in your work. But usually it's just going to be a single HTML. So you're going to go ahead and click on this top one, choose file, and then you're going to have to navigate to where you save. This is why I said it's great if you keep a single place. I'm going to go to Documents. I'm going to go to Math 356 Labs. And now you see there's going to be different things in here. This is one I was working on before called a sample. Here is the example, because remember we saved it as Lab 1 example, but this has an R icon next to it. That means that is the code file. That is not what we want to update. We want to update, or I'm sorry, upload. We want to upload the HTML file. So it's usually going to have an icon of whatever browser you have. An easy way is that you can come over here and see what file type. We do not want the RMD, we want the HTML. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go ahead and say open. And as you can see, that adds it right here. Then add your documentation statement. I got help from Dr. Holloway. She is really great, and she helped me with that. Then I go ahead and say submit the question, and you wait for a second, and it says that it is uploaded. Now it's going to say that you got 0 out of 30 on it, but that's because it says this contains parts that must be graded, because unlike the other things, I do not have a magical artificial intelligence like Jarvis from Iron Man that can grade your work. So don't take the 0 the wrong way. That just means that your instructor has not read it and graded it. Now this remains open. So you are done now if you are good with this. If you go back and go, oh crap, I found a problem, I would like to choose another file. No problem. Just come back, open this up and say choose the file again. And let's say I wanted to upload, we'll say this is a different file and say open. It will then go over it. I can say submit and it will upload over it. So you can upload over as many times as you want and we will only grade the most recent one. And then you're done. Go back to your work and start working on the next lab. I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions on this, feel free to message me or your instructor directly. Otherwise, I will see you on class this week. Talk to you next time. Bye.